Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your April 15th, April 30th, 2017 read. For the main read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot. There's the box, old box. And for the supportive cards for yours, the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue seem to be popping up to me, so we'll go with that. Do we want that one? No. They're like, nope, we don't want that one. So 3 out from there, okay. This is their side? Okay. Alright, so the Romance Angel cards did come out, definitely. Before I get too far in, like I always say, this doesn't have to denote a romantic relationship. It definitely can, but typically it's an important, very heart connect. Somebody you have very strong feelings for. You very much care greatly about their life and what's going on in it. Good. All right. That being said, I think this is going to kind of go... I did another reading earlier today that reminds me of this. I don't remember if it was Virgo or Capricorn, but I'm going to explain what's going on in the environment because it seems to be that's what it's affecting you the most. And it's kind of setting the tone for the whole reading here. Now, I get this card at the bottom of the deck. It's the Two of Rods, and I feel like this is for the other person. I also got the moon going on here because it kind of flips. Which kind of like, when I'm looking at this orb, it does kind of have a moon feel for me. So, that's not even at the bottom. I don't know why I thought that was at the bottom. Unless I moved it, which I might have. Anyway, moving on. They're looking for answers. They're unsure of what's going on. They're trying to see through their own psyche. They're trying to understand certain things that they do. They're trying to understand why they're attracted to certain people, why they get into certain situations. They're looking for answers within themselves. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Especially when it's coupled with the moon. I feel like they're looking for these answers, but they're not understanding what's going on, and they're just not understanding why they do certain things that they do. It's kind of what I'm feeling here. And a jingle in the background. That's always fun. We're going to take that as a good sign. Alright, so whoever this person is, they're trying to figure themselves out. It makes me wonder if they're going towards you, and this may be a biased opinion. I don't know why I have a high opinion of Taurans, because we're all souls. The sign doesn't denote whether somebody's good or bad. It doesn't in any sense. I just tend to be attracted to the energy myself, and I wonder if that's why I'm seeing it this way. Because I feel like they're going towards you, like they're noticing something about you that they really like. And they're like, I almost feel like the reason they're going towards you is because they think you're the type of person they want to be like or be with, one of the two. Remember, with these cards, the Romance Angel cards, it could be a romantic relationship. It could just be somebody who means a lot to you. You're having an influence, though. I feel like you're having a good influence. They see you as a great, stable role model, if you will. And that's how this situation kind of starts. Like, I feel like you're having a good time with them. And whatever the situation is at this point in the beginning, it changes and it gets more, you get closer. Be it however it may fit. Like, if it's a platonic relationship, this person is hanging out with you more, wants your time more, wants your opinions more, is sharing more about their life with you. If it's romantic, they're making a gesture. They're taking they're taking it to you. They're like, hey, let's hang out. That was really overdramatic, but you know. It might seem overdramatic maybe when it happens. I don't know. Or I'm crazy. One of the two. The reason I'm saying that is because the King of Rods is right below the card I'm about to say next, which is a good card in your case, especially with the card that's after it. It's the Death card, which means completely new cycle. Completely new. Whatever the relationship was before, it's going into a new era. And there's the card right after it is the Six of Rods, which the way I read this card is this is heading out to a battle you know you're going to win. This is getting involved in something that you know is going to lead to success. So, excuse me. Now, this attention, I feel like you like it a lot. So if it be romantic or just somebody you care about, if it's somebody you just care about, if it's a platonic relationship, I feel like you like hanging out with them. You very much care about them. And the fact that they're interested in what you think and feel and they want your 2 cents, that just puts you over the moon. You love it. You love it. Like if this reading is hitting for you, you love it. Well, this is interesting. I didn't realize what that card was back there, but now this is interesting because you have the it's the 9 of Pentacles, right? If I can read that upside down. 9 of Pentacles, and then you have religious factors and reconciliation. A lot of times when I see religious factors pop up in a reading, it means you definitely have opposing points of view. It doesn't have to mean religious, but opposing points of view that you're both very dedicated and stable. Like you have certain ways you feel and you're very grounded and that's the way you feel. But they also have that same feeling about however they're viewing the situation or however they feel about a certain subject. They have very stable, really deep-seated feelings about how they feel. So it's like both of you stick your ground, and even though there may be opposing viewpoints, you both stay your ground on how you feel on situations if you have differences of opinion. And there may be a few different things you disagree with. I'm kind of getting also with the King of Rods and the Emperor, especially when because you got the Emperor coming up on your side here, especially with Taurans. It's a fire-earth thing. Earth is typically very steady, dependable. It's a slow build, but a dependable build. Fire can change direction at any moment, moves fast, can start quick, can stop quick, can go left and right. Fire is like fire, if you think of it that way, just pew, pew, pew. And sometimes the two of those energies don't work well because fire doesn't like to be controlled and earth doesn't like things to go all left and right all the time. Earth likes more stability. So it might be how this is kind of going together, like a personality match. Like the religious factors might be kind of like a personality match. Like you may have obvious differences in how you handle life. And you go like this a lot? Probably not, just me. That's fine. All right, now there's interesting things going on here because this person does very much, I feel like they're strong in their own sense, but they very much honor your personality and how you handle things. I feel like they kind of want to try to do it your way because of the outcomes, the results you get. But they find it hard to do it your way because it's just not natural for their tone of life, how they live, how they grew up, how they go about things and feel comfortable with them. There could be some honing they need to do of their own, and they may be able to learn some of that honing through interaction with you, but I don't feel like they're going to be like you or handle things the way you would. They can just handle them better their own way. They might pick up habits, or they might glean some other ways they can do things based on the way you handle life. Yes, okay. Now, so the next card after that was this is the 6? Yep. 6 of Rods. It's going well. Things are going well. Then I feel like you have some good times. I don't know if it's like a few days or a week or so. You're seeing each other a lot, and then all of a sudden it's like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? That's kind of how I feel like, hello? Like, why aren't you answering the calls? Why aren't you here? Like, you were just, what happened? Like, what happened? Excuse me. Now, it's very interesting because I feel like you're, on your side, you're just kind of like, you're kind of feeling like stuck. Like you're kind of stuck in the situation, but you can't really do anything about it. And you're like, I don't know what to do about this. The Hanged Man is always an interesting card for me. Because he has a very interesting, like his hands are behind his back, but often I wonder to myself, are they tied or is he just kind of comfortable? Not that looks like a real comfortable position, but it makes me wonder, can he reach up and untie that if he wants to? Or is he like, I don't really want to. This isn't really working out the way I want it to work out, but I'm in a position where, I can rest a minute. I'm okay with that. Like, it's weird. It's a weird card for me sometimes. And right now, it feels like, you'll notice, like, especially on this card, those two pillars are like, they're cut trees, of course, with the branches cut. So it was cut and made a certain way. Like only one foot is tied. It's kind of like, it denotes like an error of like, okay, I'm hanging out here. Wouldn't say it was the best idea, but I'm here. You're just kind of waiting things to go to the next step. I feel like this can be disassembled if you really wanted it to, but you're feeling like that's not what you want to do. You want to see how this is going to pan out, so you're kind of hanging out, waiting to see what the next step is going to be. Okay. On the other side, they seem to be having some conflict. I feel like they're seeing the differences between you and them, and they're having a hard time dealing with it, and they're just trying to reassess. It's coming back to the two of rods again, with the moon on the other side here. They're looking at the situation, and they're really trying to understand, like, what do I need to do? Why do I feel the way that I feel? There's some conflict here. I feel like the Three of Swords is a conflict between who they've been, who they want to be, and who they are when they're with you. And they're feeling perplexed. Like, can I do this? Like, is this the right decision for me? A lot of times this card denotes a love triangle. That is true. And it could end up being that situation here where there's somebody else and they're kind of like, I feel like if there is somebody else on their side, I don't think you knew about it, and they're feeling guilty, and they're deciding, like, maybe I need to get rid of this other person and go with you. But now that I've gone this far and I've done what I've done, how can I do that without being honest? And if I'm honest, what's going to happen then? I feel like they're very conflicted. It's definitely a love triangle card. I get that, but in this situation, I feel like they're conflicted about who they are, who they've been, who they want to be. Like, there's different feelings here. Like, I feel like it's swords, which is air. A lot of mental activity. I feel like this is mostly mental activity. That's what I feel like for them. It's mostly mental. I almost feel like in some cases, I shouldn't laugh, but this other person, especially if it's a romantic thing, it's kind of like they were like dating other people, and the most they did was kiss somebody, but they feel like guilty, so guilty about it. Like, it's not even that big a deal, but to them they're just like, I don't know how I could do that. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, I feel like they're there's a lot of inner conflict with them. And it comes back to like who they were, who they currently are, and who they want to be. Like, they're trying to move themselves in a different direction, and they feel like you're good for this. Like, they feel like you're somebody they should be around so they can change what they don't like about themselves. And I feel like they're looking at it in a skewed view, because I feel like they're looking at certain parts of their own personality like it's a bad thing, and I don't feel like these pieces are bad. It's just how they're moving forward with them. Like, there's a little bit of spontaneity to them, and I feel like they feel like that's a bad thing, not realizing that spontaneity is a great thing in certain situations. Not with finances, typically, I mean, unless you have better luck. Or, like, not in, like, planning a career, or certain, like, things like that. Like, I think Taurus would say, when you're planning finances or a career, you make a goal, you head towards that goal, you take the steps to get to that goal, and you stick to it. And that's what they're looking at. But, like, with spontaneity, like, dancers and art and, like, having fun, or, like, going on a road trip and just spontaneously going different ways, as long as you have a destination in mind, in my opinion, because I have some Taurus thing going on with me, but there can be a bit of spontaneity in there in its place, and it can be a great thing. I don't even think you're having a problem with their spontaneity at this point. I don't feel like there's really any conflict on your side. I feel like you recognize the differences, and I almost feel like what I just explained, as long as it's in certain areas, in certain ways, I'm good with that. It's fine. Not in finances, not in career, but in these other areas, it's fine. Like, I just feel like that's kind of how it feels. Yes. Okay. Now, I have showed you the Hangman. I showed you the conflict. This is like, I feel like the two of you are kind of having a little separation. I feel like you're going through some things too. Like you're reviewing the relationship or how they are. I feel like you notice more than I'm putting into this reading about them. It may not be such a shock that they're pulling back, and you might be just wondering what's going on with them, and you kind of want to know, but also realize you have to wait to find out. Especially when you have very soon with the Hermit next to it, I feel like you're expecting them to come back around. You're not really surprised that they're doing this, and I don't feel like you're like offended. You're just like waiting to see how it's going to pan out. I mean, I'm not getting like how it's going to pan out because I feel like that's like it's going to depend on your situation. I feel like for the most part, though, it ends up in a way that you want it to, for whatever that means. Because I feel like as this Hermit is in effect, you're also like, I feel like there's information or like your feelings are kind of settling in a certain way, but your feelings are kind of moving you in a direction towards the outcome. Like if you're kind of like, if this falls to the side, that's okay. Like you're kind of disconnecting in a sense, like it's because you probably will. But if you're getting like more curious and you care about like what's actually happening and you want to get more involved, like it's probably going that direction. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. It's like the Hermit, especially in this, like I feel like feelings like at this time apart, your emotions are kind of evolving like either toward or away from them. In some cases it's kind of in this little back and forth motion because they seem to be going back and forth. I feel like you're kind of emotionally, like empathetically, I think that's the word I want to put in there. You're kind of like connected with them, like on an energy level, and like if they come towards, if they're like thinking of you, you seem to think about them. If they don't think about you, you don't. I don't know if that makes sense. Like when this Hermit comes into effect, like I feel like whichever way you're going, if you want to be more close to them or if you're okay with them, like not being around, like it's gonna help the outcome. Yes, I hope that made sense. All right, I'm going to wrap this up here. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.